Hello, everybody. How's it going today? It's now November the 27th in Marseille, France. It is 1 p.m. time. So we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin markets today. So how's everybody doing today? Hope you guys have had a very fun time trading because it's been a blast so far, right? So I'm going to make this very short and sweet. So over the past 24 hours, I've been up about $1,000 Canadian, or sorry, $1,000 USD over 4 trades, which was about 1325 CAD, like Canadian dollars. I made 4 fairly decent trades. I'm trying to find them out very quickly for you guys here. I went into a long position on Bitcoin here. I didn't get time to capture it on video for you guys, but it was a very nice profit of 500 something American. And then I took another 200 something American here, like 220 or something. Right, that was a very nice trade as well, where I went short on it actually from about the 45 ranges to the 3900 ranges. Should have wrote it down a lot more in my opinion, but I didn't really have time to monitor my trades. And then I made another trade just yesterday for a long position of about 200 something dollars. I was actually up about $450, but I did not take my profit because I thought it was going to go up much higher than that. So instead, I ended up playing it fairly poorly actually, right? Instead. So I ended up taking like a $270 profit instead of a $450 profit. But you know what? It was better for me to do this to, first of all, minimize my risk, right? And also to ride out the maximum potential profit. Sometimes if you take profit too early and you don't confirm a downtrend, you end up really hurting yourself in the end there. And this one was fairly decent where I bought at around 3720 ranges and I sold it around 3780 for about a 2.5% profit, almost 3% there. So all in all, I'm definitely getting back on the horse here. I'm down a few $1,000s this month actually. And the reason I'm mainly down, like I mentioned before, is that I'm on vacation, guys. And I've also got some lovely company here as well. And the last thing on my mind is trading right now as I've made it quite obvious by now. I just let you guys know tomorrow I'll be in Montpellier, France with Sarah, where we're going to Cirque du Soleil. So, and I'm very proud to actually say that I've officially stopped drinking, okay? I don't drink at all anymore. I don't do anything wild anymore. I'm more so level-headed. I'm actually very happy for myself to and proud of myself to say that to say this to you guys as well. You guys remember the good old days when I used to stream live when I was uninhibited, we'll say. Okay, I wasn't exactly myself and I would do dumb things like put up my 2FA keys and also my password list and I would just get hacked. Those were the good old days, right? Yeah, I don't ever want those things to happen again. So here we are. So I want to make one quick distinction first of all. If you guys have noticed since the original downtrend, right, or since the original uptrend rather, on the Bitcoin short tables, I've been monitoring the Bitcoin shorts versus the Bitcoin longs for fairly a decent amount of time now, simply because it's a very good indication of the ranges we can possibly see where the bulls and the bears end up causing tension, right? So let's go to CoinMarketCap right now and just see what's been going on here. And what we're seeing is a volume actually picking up a little bit. Okay, we're at about $120 billion market cap still. But what I'm finding is that people are generally interested in this specific region right now where we're trending. So we took a look at the 24-hour volume for the past 3 days before, right, on the 22, 23, and 24. And what we're simply finding is that $4.5 to $4.6 billion, it was kind of at a lull, right? But now for the past 3 days trending 6.8 billion, 6.5 billion, 6.5 billion as well. So does this mean that the market is generally interested in these specific price points? Very interesting. Bitcoin all across the board, it's averaging about 3702 across multiple exchanges right now. So what we're finding as well right now is that, and just so you guys know, I'm actually in a Bitcoin long position. Just to be very clear with you guys, I'm down about 2% right now. I'm gonna cut my losses around 30. If we break below this low here, about 36.64, which will be about a $600 loss, which I'm okay with. But I'm more so hoping that it's getting into about 39.20 ranges, just for a quick little scalp. It's a really bad risk to reward, but I'm always open and honest with you guys, as I would like to keep it, right? It's always important to be extremely transparent with my traders, with my positions as well. And because I'm on vacation, I'm only playing anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000. And I'm only keeping about 5 to 7K in my margin account, and the rest goes into funding, or just perhaps, or I'm mainly transferring to fiat now because I don't want to keep a large balance online. You know, the sun is shining so bright today. The wind is just gusting in my hair. It actually feels really good to be able to enjoy this type of weather in Marseille, France. Yeah, I'm actually really excited for for Montpellier tomorrow. It's date night, and I'm actually extremely happy to be able to take a lovely lady out to France, out on a date in France. What can I say, right? Life is good right now. So if you guys have noticed, every time we trend between the 34,000 to the 40,000 range for Bitcoin shorts, well, look what happens, right? We end up getting to the 40,000 range, bam, we just drop to literally 23,000. We end up getting to 40,000, bam, we drop to 22,000, right? We get to 40,000, we drop here to 27,000. We get to 38,000, we just drop to 19,000. So we're getting a lot of resistance in these 40,000, like 35 to 40,000 short positions, right? So what happens is whenever, if you guys are not familiar with the concept of shorting, it might be very foreign to you, but what it basically refers to is you're betting against the market. Bears like to short where they're making profit on the downtrend, right? A lot of people are unfamiliar with these concepts, but you're betting against the market by borrowing these coins or shares or crypto, right, from the exchange. So let's say you're shorting one Bitcoin at, just as an example, $10,000, right? You're borrowing one Bitcoin and you're selling it initially. And then if you buy it back at $9,000, you pay back that one Bitcoin that you bought at $9,000 back to the exchange. And this process is all automatic. And then you're keeping the difference between 10,000 and 9,000. So you're profiting $1,000. That's the short summary of it. So whenever that happens, what happens is that the bulls end up kicking it up a notch, and it adds fuel to the fire, and we actually get a major uptrend because there are so many short positions, and short positions need to close their position by buying back, right? So they're selling initially and they're buying back to pay back the exchange. So because they have to buy back to close their positions, it adds fuel to the fire by causing an uptrend, right? So if there's enough short positions, the bulls will use this to their advantage and actually end up stacking up bids in massive amounts, or they will drive up the price with simple market executions, whatever to drive up the price. And when this happens, the bears have to close their position and they also have to buy. So all of a sudden, the bears end up supporting the bulls, and that's how we get these large uptrends, right? So now where we're trending, guys, is I want to first of all make note of this descending triangle that we're seeing, okay? Actually, it's probably important to establish some more fundamentals before even getting into that. So let's just say that I'm taking this region to account. That's a bull trap region, right? So we're seeing lots of regions right here where this is a bull trap, that is a bull trap. This region could have been as well, right? Where every time we trend near this resistance, we end up actually downtrending, right? I also want to point out right here that we've got a descending type of triangle, right? But this descending type of triangle is actually gaining strength, right? Because we're getting a low there, getting a higher low there, and we're getting an even higher low. So the question is, are we actually going to end up down or uptrending rather? As you guys can see, I'm not really down that much on my position anymore. The bulls are trying to step it up a notch right here, right? So I'm only down about $180 right now. And just looking at the level 2 right now, we're seeing kind of green across the board and people buying in big amounts. There's 11, there's 10 there as well. We're spiking up to 3801 ranges. So the bulls literally just kicked it up a notch, and they ended up driving up the price like literally almost 2%, 1% right there, which is a very substantial amount in my opinion in a short period of time. Let's see if the bulls can actually maintain this pace. I'm hoping for one more touch up here, like around the 37, like 39.60 or whatever ranges, right? And that would be an awesome touch if we can make one more. But nevertheless, I want to also talk about the daily chart as well, okay? So let's talk about the weekly and the monthly first. Let's go on the higher time frames. So on the monthly, woo! I don't know if this is a good indication, but on the monthly right here, yeah, I think this could be, yeah, we're hitting the 55 EMA actually, okay? Let's go to a different chart. Let's go to BTC on Poloniex actually, okay? Because they have a longer history. 55 is not even showing on Poloniex here. Let's go to BTC Poloniex USD table, okay? I don't know any other exchange that's been around longer, so let's just see. I don't even know if Bittrex has been around longer than that, actually. So what is the longest running? Let's try Coinbase, perhaps. No, definitely not Coinbase. Actually, yeah, Coinbase. Yeah, okay, well, they don't even show the 55 EMA on here. Let's try Binance. How long have they been around for? Nope. Not many exchanges can actually show 55 moving average, because 55 would imply about 5 years, or 4 years rather. Let's see here. Just give me a second. Let's go XBT. Let's see if anything's showing here for XBT. BitMEX, how long have they been around for? Nah, we got to go to Binance, or we got to go to Bitfinex still and stay on there, okay? So, all right, this is long enough. Let's see how many months it is. Yeah, 67 bars. This shows. So we're actually trending right now, guys, right at the 55 EMA. Right? Are we going to get a bounce off the 55 EMA? We should, because we got a bounce off of the 21 EMA. We got a bounce off of the 13 EMA, right? We got a bounce off of the 8 EMA. So there should be bound for a bounce sometime soon, even a slight one. On the 200 one, we're getting very slow volume, if you guys have noticed, okay, for the 2-day here. So it's looking pretty decent so far, but it's only the first day of the 2. Here, I'm actually going to close this window. Give me a second. It's extremely cold right now, actually, now. Okay, so on the daily, we're getting pretty decent volume, right? But you know, the sell-off volume is actually a little bit lower, which is good because we're reaching a very low point, and we're getting 3-day support so far, right? We're bouncing above the 3680 regions, which is looking pretty decent to me. I thought this was gonna be like a better body for the previous 2 days, where we're getting a tweezer pair combination, but it didn't really work out the way I wanted it to, right? And we gotta acknowledge that on the 2-day RSI, we're actually at about 14, which is really low. And this might be the first day where we're actually curving upwards, where the momentum could actually change. On the daily chart, we're seeing the histogram slowly curving upwards, but doesn't mean it could just reverse right away, right? Like it could easily very well happen. But here we're getting the curvature, it's slightly ticking upwards now. 16-hour chart, we're getting dojis all across the board. Like yesterday, we got doji. 3 hours left, we're getting kind of like another doji type of candle with a bigger body, though, right? Volume is slowly. Give me a second, guys. Just gotta check my message. Hmm. My girl's so funny. Honestly, she's the funniest person in the world. Anyways. So yeah, we got about 7 hours left to go for this doji candle, right? Like I think that we're gonna maybe find some one of two things is gonna happen. We're gonna find support, we're gonna break out of that slope ascending or that sloped resistance that I was mentioning, or we're simply just gonna downtrend to a lower region. So we'll talk about both possible things that we can do, okay? So on the 10-hour, like we're gaining strength. We're getting a series of lower lows, or sorry, there's a low there, higher high, higher high, and hopefully a higher low very soon as well. So if these play out, like I'm gonna be very excited to add more to my long position, right? We got like 8 hours ago, or sorry, 16 hours ago, we got a doji there, another doji. Like, are we gonna get another series of dojis? 6 hour, we're just slightly staying positive on the histogram. So I'm getting a lot of mixed signals right now, to be quite honest. Okay, and I'm unsure. Like I wish I could even tell you guys what's going to happen right now, but I feel like we're getting a truncated, not feel. I think that we're getting a truncated fifth wave. So the way that I'm breaking down my Elliott wave, and I don't want to take up too much of your time because I also want to get food as well, is I can't help but think that this is the first wave, right? Like 1, 2, 3, and we're just getting a 4 and a 5. That makes one wave in there. And I think that we're getting another one in here, like 1, 2. And I think that this is a huge fourth retracement, 4 and 5 up there, right? And if I break this down even further, I can, if you guys would like me to. I'm seeing an ABC with a very truncated one up there, right? Like A, B, C, truncated C wave, which is kind of what I see. And then I'm also seeing a fifth wave right in here. Like if I count this one here as 1, I see this as 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this made an A, B, C that was so clear to me, right? And I can't help but think that the region we should be working on in terms of isolating it is right in there. Because we want to catch the final bottom. So then if I were to count my Elliott wave, I would basically count it as, whoops, that would be, let me try to do this again here. I count this as 1, whoops, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, huge 4 and 5, right? And this goes up to there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's got to be the fifth right there, okay? I don't have any other choice. But if we count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, well, then we want to isolate that specific region and see if we can make sense of anything in that range. So let me just do a trend-based fib extension here just to do a little check, okay? we're getting some pretty big extensions. Like here, we're getting roughly a 1-to-1 extension. Like take a look at this, guys. We're getting a 1-to-1 extension. So we say that wave 3 is often the longest, but never the actual shortest, right? So it meets that criteria of the wave 3 coming down and being longer than a 1-to-1 extension of waves 1 to 2. And then after that, we say, well, wave 3 hit 1-to-1, so there's a good chance wave 5 could hit 1-6-1-8. And that's exactly what's happening right now, okay? I can't help but think that, like, even though this is a low and that's the same low, we are gaining some massive strength. Look at this low right there for this region compared to this low. So are we actually gaining strength, and are we just going to pop up very soon, or are we going to break down? Okay. So now I want to isolate this region and go to like a 30-minute chart, for example. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. And I don't know what this one is making. Like it could be just making a 1, 2, like 3, 4. And is it making like an ending fifth wave diagonal of some sort? I could not even begin to tell you, to be quite honest. Okay. And you know, this I thought this right here was the very final wave, but this one here obviously invalidated it. Okay. It invalidated it because it hasn't made a series of higher lows yet, because it gets invalidated by getting a more than 100% retracement. So this one right here absolutely retraced more than 100%. So I can't help but think to myself that we're not quite done yet, right? And we're still making a few small waves down. So if I say this as 1, 2, and 3, and this is 4, then I'm looking for a fifth wave to step somewhere in here. Like I'm genuinely looking for this right here, something in that particular shape. So I'm extremely interested in a long in this specific region right here. Okay, because I can't help but think that based on all these confluent signs, that we're looking for some sort of triangle pattern in there. And I'm isolating this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so I'm going to delete all this just to show you guys my logic. I'm going to actually do it on a lower time frame as well. I'm seeing this right here as a leading first wave diagonal for the first wave, right? And now that I see that, I look for the ABC that's going upwards, and I say to myself, well, this is ABC right here going upwards, right? So that's now wave 2 that's formed. And now I search for a wave 3 that's actually fairly easy to identify. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that finishes wave 3. And then I search for an ABC going upwards, and I see the ABC going upwards like that. Perfect. I think this is pretty good deduction on my end so far. And then now I'm searching for literally a fifth wave, right? Where this has got to be perhaps 1, that's got to be 2, and this is making 3 right here. And I think it's just making a fourth wave right now, and we're about to finish our fifth wave coming downwards. So this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I can't help but think this is also a huge ABC going up, right? ABC, right? We get a pretty nice bullish retracement up there. And then I'm searching for another 4 waves. And yes, guys, this can overlap, okay? Enough with that already. Please read more than, I don't mean to be rude, but if you guys are going to correct me with my Elliot wave and say that they cannot overlap, you guys need to read more than 7 pages of the first book, okay? Because there are many different corollaries and exceptions to Elliott wave overlapping of wave 4 and also wave 1, okay? So now that I've isolated that, I'm basically, you know, that's 1, and that's 2, right? And that's 3. And we say to ourselves, well, let's check it right here to see if it's actually meeting the criteria. And we say, okay, well, wave 1 is actually shorter, or is the longest right now, but that's very typical for a leading first wave diagonal, where wave 3 is shorter than wave 1, but longer than wave 5. And this happens quite often as well, right? It doesn't need to be the longest. And I take consideration to some bull trap regions, right? Or sort of bear trap regions, and like we're gonna, if this is making a 3, that's a 4, like are we just gonna make a little fifth wave somewhere in here and then completely break out, right? Something like that in there. If that were to happen, that'd be amazing. So yeah, I'm just seeing if this is gonna break down, right? Like you guys gotta acknowledge this specific region right here, which could be scary if it were to break down, right? Because we've been holding in this specific trend for about 20 hours now, actually longer than that, okay? Like we're gonna go all the way back to over here, maybe even further. So over 2 days now, we've been holding in that region. So are we just gonna bust down out of there? So, I would recommend you guys draw this right here like this, okay? Draw your support somehow like that. Just extend it outwards. Consider some trapped regions as well, right? That's definitely like a trapped region up there. So if we end up touching here and breaking above it, like we're talking about the 39 to 4,000 ranges, that's going to be a very bullish sign. We break out of there because we've been trending for a pretty long time with this resistance, right? Right now it's been about six days almost. But if we break down, like it's going to be pretty scary. Like if we break above here, guys, clearly the next resistance point will be about 4,200, right? For a day trader's perspective, right around this range because we get this whole region that's kind of intersecting 42, 4,300 range, right? So if we break out of here, in my opinion, I think a lot of people are going to add strength and go for a quick gain of 4 to 5%, right? So first of all, this red line that I'm demarcating for you guys is going to be a major resistance, right? Then the next one will be this green box. So I think if we break out of there, a really good risk to reward, in my opinion, would be, just getting a long in anywhere between 39 to 40K, depending on how it goes and where we intersect it. Maybe setting your stop loss at maybe 39.50 to 4K, I'm guessing. Setting a stop loss for like about 3,900, 2% loss, and targeting about 4,200. And you got yourself a risk to reward of about 2.19. That's a major one as well. Some people are really risky. They might even risk it now up to here, right? And you guys can target about the 39.50 ranges. Set your stop loss for about 30. That's not the best RR in my opinion. This is about 3.8% loss to 4.7% gain to 1.24 RR. Not the best. But guys, I'm still going to stand very true to my word of saying that this region to me is a very strong support region. We're talking 3K, right? 3K to 3,500 roughly. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to make this bigger right here. So 3790, right, is where we're at right now. I think that we're going to find some sort of support if we end up breaking down from where I just mentioned there. If we break down below like the 3,600 to 3,650 ranges, we're definitely going to find support, first of all, at 3,500, right? That's where the low was in the higher end of this support region. And then if, we're going to be now in the 3K to 3,500 ranges, which is going to be kind of scary. But you never know how much further it can break down after that, right? It really does depend on so many different factors, guys. Like we honestly just never ever know. Oh, excuse me, what could end up happening? So those are kind of my plays, guys. Like I'm gonna close my position at 3650-ish, like 30, I don't know, 3700 if we break down around there, and I'll end up going with the crowd, right? You like they say in Japan, the hammer that sticks up gets pounded down, or in North America, never roll against the grain. The last thing I want to do is be trading against the trend. So those are my thoughts, guys. Hopefully we find some sort of support here and we test around the 39 to 4K regions. If we break out of there, we're most likely going to test 4,200 first. I always play it one day at a time, right? I don't try to predict longer term because I am a day trader at heart and that's just simply what I do. Then other than that, if we break down, we're going to be looking at this range here, 3,500 as a test first. If we break below like 3,650-ish, and hopefully we end up staying above, above 3,500, that would be very nice. Otherwise, we'll probably end up shooting for 3K. So anyways, have yourselves a great day. Thank you very much for joining me, guys, and take care and stay cautious in the market. If you guys love my videos, let me know. Give me a like, share, subscribe, retweet, etc. Make sure you guys are following me on YouTube, on Instagram, and also on Twitter, especially, right? If you guys are interested in my travels, right, it's pretty cool to be able to share with you guys a lot of my personal life as well. So take care. Bye. Thank you.